My sincere thanks to all of you, the people who presented, the teachers, also Vishwajit sir with his team for the beautiful decorations in the front, and each one of you have a smile as you walk in. That's the birth of Jesus. You just now heard the story about Star of Bethlehem and the Ring of Solomon. The truest sense of, you all know that as per the documents available today all over the world, and it is there also in Amazon.com, if you just go to the book section and type Jesus lived in India, and you will find more than 42 books are there. Most people are ignorant about it, but you and I should take a little effort, do a little reading. You'll find out some wonderful things which are not known to most people. But you could only know if you make it a point to know. So I often ask this question, and there was a great saint. He was a saintly person, direct disciple of Swami Vivekananda. His name was Swami Achalakar. Now, Swami Achalakar is to ask this question, which I am going to ask you, is, do you remember? Often he would say, remember what? And this is where all these presentations of every spiritual celebrations is the question comes to you and me, if we start to reflect upon it, do you remember? Let us see Christmas right now. The birth of Jesus, Ring of Solomon, the Star of Bethlehem. Actually, this is the connection of Jesus coming to India. You'll be amazed. And those of you who have taken up the path of learning spirituality sincerely, you could ask yourself this question, do you remember? Do you remember what? Do you remember why did you take up that path of spirituality? You and I could ask ourselves, why did we choose to become a teacher? Those of you mothers and fathers, ask yourself, do you remember why you choose to have a baby? Those of you married, ask yourself, do you remember why you wanted to get married? We forget. And beautiful thing about the human mind is this forgetting. Do you remember the last promise you made to yourself in the last New Year? Anjali ma'am says yes. You need to remember what is the purpose, what is the basics of this remembrance. Is the birth of Jesus. And those of you, why did Jesus come to India? When he came and he practiced the ancient Indian yoga, studied the ancient scriptures from India, and he discovered this, the three wise men, the kings, and the birth of Jesus is there in every one of you and me, all of us. And as you practice this ancient Indian science, which is beautifully connected also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking the same thing to Arjuna, which is what I'm just narrating it to you, is as you practice, you will find in your own forehead, in the third eye, you will find the Ring of Solomon coming in. You must have seen many a time when I talk to the children and I say, okay, do you want to see God? And everybody said, yes, I'll show you one or two. And when I touch them, have you heard? They all say, I see so much of light. That's the light which is the Ring of Solomon. They're in every one of us. And you and me too. You can also see it. And as you concentrate and learn a little more, makes the birth of that called the Star of Bethlehem inside the Ring of Solomon. And the truth is that the three wise king were called the kings. They actually saw the Star of Bethlehem not in the sky like this, inside in their forehead. And that's called the birth of Jesus. So once you concentrate, focus your mind onto that Star of Bethlehem, you get connected with this Son of God. So what did Jesus say? Make thine eye single. So these are the two eyes. It becomes single through this Ring of Solomon. He's saying, make thine eye single and know that I am Son of God. Who is I? I am Son of God is the I. This I who is seeing that, whoever is practicing, you would know that you are Son of God. And it is given down also, same thing in the Bible. The same thing is given second coming of Jesus Christ. It is given also in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna thousands of years ago. So do you remember? And once you start to recollect, you will see we have a beautiful things of way of forgetting. Many times you forget. Oh, I said that. I can't recollect. It's in my stomach but not coming into my head. They're all this forgetting. Sometimes you're cooking, you forget to put salt in the food, no? Or maybe put double time salt. You forget. You forget what you studied. Do you remember your childhood? Do you delve into it every day? Then you would remember what you wanted to become as a child. And you have taken up this journey from that birth. And you are here. Do you remember the purpose for which you and I were born on this earth? We had a purpose. And as children, there's a very famous philosopher. He sang, at this age, he was about then 70, he said, at this age I realize everything that I have learned, almost 90% of it I learned before my kindergarten. And which is that? Let's say, do you remember that you should not tell lies? Have you realized? We've forgotten. And we say, we were talking to some people, and there's an elderly gentleman. He said something. It was first thing in the morning. And then immediately said, first thing in the morning, I don't want to tell lies. So I said, why first thing in the morning? You shouldn't tell lies ever. Do you remember that you should not tell lies? Do you remember only by looking at this that you have to be kind and giving and caring and loving? Ask yourself, do I remember? Close your eyes. Make thine eyes single and you will see. You will remember. And this remembrance makes you elevate yourself and become an excellent human being. What you have to remember is actually who you are. Who am I? I'm not this little body of flesh and bones and little habits, most of it is bad. And you say, I am like that. You're not like that. You know why you say I'm like that? Because you've forgotten. Remember. And once you remember, have you noticed this, all the beautiful eats that you saw, have you noticed they're all going towards the sweet side? And have you noticed when you were looking at them, You were smiling. You're feeling good. No? These are the reasons why these celebration, why the type of food that you eat, they all to help you what? To remember. Have you realized many of our memories start to get rusted a little bit because we live the wrong way. We eat the wrong things. So when you live the right way, eat the right thing, do the right thing, automatically your memory becomes sharper. You remember, who am I? I am a divine being. I'm a good soul. I chose to become a teacher. Why? Do you remember how you used to love the babies, love the children? That's primarily the reason why you and I chose to take up this path, because you saw something beautiful among the children. You wanted to change them to not become naughty and mischievous. Children are supposed to be mischievous, but guide them towards, do you remember who you are? So when children come down to me for chill outs, after a while when they come down, I tell them, I ask them, are you a monkey? They said, no. I said, are you a dog? They said, no. I asked them, are you a donkey that you're kicking around? Why are you behaving like that? Remember that you're not a monkey, you're not a donkey, you're not a demon, you're acting like one. And you and I as teachers, when we have those children behaving like them, I want you to ask yourself, do I remember why am I in this profession? Don't lose your cool. Ask yourself, learn to handle. And all you need to do is learn to handle. Yes, they have been, unfortunately, for some reason, been guided to reach a state where they've forgotten that they're supposed to be very good, very kind. So there were some children with us in the younger section. They were muscle men, always bullying people around. The Shadamam very smartly went and put them taking care of the primary and early years children, so that nobody bullies them. So their act worked. They suddenly become protector. Guide yourself. Think about strategies and continue to lead them. The path that you're going to take on from now. Have you noticed 10 years ago, if you try to reflect, you will remember what you were. But have you realized this 10 years have passed so fast? So fast. A mark of caution. You're waiting for the Christmas holiday. When will 22nd be over? Champion, I can assure you, just like that, you will see it 2nd of January. Do you remember now what you're going to do? That 10 years ago, which was there, it is over. And 10 years from today will also be over, just there. What do you want to do 10 years from now? Be old and sick and say, I don't want to live that long. Because to you, living for that long to most is being sick, having rheumatism, knots in the heart, or diabetic problem, or whatever. Why should you think about aging? You think about glowing. Do you remember? You're supposed to be glowing. And these celebrations come on because of that. Share it with the children. And as you share, you will automatically see there's a little Mother Teresa in all of you, hiding to explode into being reality. So remember, ask yourself, I am not like this. I'm supposed to be something different. And that's called the joy of giving. That's remembering who I am and remembering that whatever I have, it is not mine, it is for someone else to enjoy. And when you do that, that's the best joy that you can have. Instead of eating that cake, just watch by giving what happens. So you have a beautiful day, a very hectic week to come along, and have fun every minute. Remember, love you all.